Elections have consequences, right? And this is what happens if Kamala Harris becomes a president. They have unveiled their tax plan of how much money they're going to take from you and it's going to go to the U.S. government. The constant narrative you hear is the wealthy don't pay their fair share in taxes, right? It's the poor that pay the taxes, but not the wealthy. Watch this. Bottom 50% of taxpayers in America versus the top 50%. What percentage of all the taxes in the U.S. do you think the bottom 50% pay? You ready? 2.3%. You know what the top 50% pays? 97.7%. Now, you may say you're a Kamala person. You may say, well, Pat, how about the top 1%? It's the top 1% that's not paying any of the taxes. Really? Here's a chart for you. The top 1% pays 42.3% of all the taxes the government gets. So what the hell is this narrative about the fact that rich people don't pay their taxes? 89 till 2022, $19.5 trillion of capital gains is realized and has been paid taxes of $3.4 trillion. The 48.2 is unrealized. The government wants to tax that. That's what Kamala Harris wants to do. They want to tax the unrealized gains. So again, before we go through the Kamala thing, the main thing I want you to think about is the following. Kamala Harris proposed a billionaire minimum tax target individuals with a net worth of $100 million or more, requiring them to pay a 25% tax on their unrealized gains, profits on assets that haven't been sold. So you own the stock, you own this company, you haven't sold it. The money hasn't come to you. It's sitting there. It's paper rich. She wants 25% of that to be taxed. If this was the case, how much would Musk, Bezos, Gates, Arnault, all these guys, what would they pay? This is what ChatGPT told us. Musk's unrealized gains is $92 billion. He would have to pay $23 billion of that. You may say, who cares? These guys can afford it. What's the big deal? Why are you protecting these billionaires? That's not the point. You ready? Let's say you're 62 years old and you have $700,000 in your 401k. You're getting ready to retire in the next 3 to 7 years, right? All of a sudden, this becomes a law. And billionaires' incentive is like, wait a minute, I have to pay this much taxes. Yes, guys, we got to lay people off. We got to fire people. Who? A quarter of the entire employee. We're firing everybody. Are you serious? Yes, because I got to find a way to pay these taxes. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to go broke. Well, that's not fair for you to do this. I have to do it. Boom. The market reacts. All of a sudden, the market tanks 50%. You're 62 years old. You had $700,000 in a 401k. You were hoping to retire by 7 years old, maybe 65 years old. That $700 becomes $350,000 overnight. How much longer do you think you have to work? Oh, it's not going to affect average middle Americans. We're only targeting the wealthy, not average and middle America. Really? Really? What do you think these guys do? You think when the money comes in, they just go buy exotic cars that reinvest into the company? How do you think a company gets bigger by itself or somebody risking, constantly reinvesting? They're delaying the outcome of them taking money off the table. That's a lot of risk when you have paper wealth. You know what the question I have for you is? That $4.1 trillion over the next 10 years, who do you trust to do more with that money? The U.S. government or free market, people that are job creators, entrepreneurs? Who do you think will do more with that? The U.S. government, when they decide, let's send $200 billion, $100 billion to Zelensky, Ukraine. You may disagree. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You can't be like, I don't like that. They take certain money and they waste it. We're going to put all these battery plants, we're going to invest $500 million. They got 7-8 locations in the span of how many years? They waste all the money. But it's like $500 million. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to be able to take money back because it's not quantitative tightening is what we're going to do. So we're going to buy back $200 billion every month. How are you going to do? We can just do that. Who cares? We can just do that. So if you can manipulate in those areas, why are you trying to take $4.1 trillion away from our hands to the government? Do you really think that's good for you and your family? You really believe that? You think that's good for the economy? You think that's good for your 401k? You think that's good for your retirement plan, pension plan? You think that's what they're trying to do with this plan? Do you know how they manipulate you with this plan to get you to think like this is a good idea? They're like, majority of the people agree that we should tax the people over $100 million unrealized tax. Of course, it's not their money. Is that supposed to persuade me? Is that supposed to get me to say, oh my God, you're right, because majority agree? Oh yeah, for sure. Imagine I got 6 people living in a house, 4 kids, me and my wife, right? Imagine my oldest son comes and says, well, Dad, majority of people in this house agree that we should eat ice cream every day. No shit, Sherlock. Majority of people in this house are kids. Or imagine these guys are now 18, 19, 20 years old. And they say, Dad, majority of the people in the family agree that we should not pay rent and we should live here. Of course, majority would agree on that because majority are not contributing towards the lifestyle and the costs and the expenses. That's why they would agree on that. So we can't fall for that trap of majority of the people agree on this plan, et cetera, et cetera. They've been doing this for a while, but a plan like this would destroy the U.S. economy. There's a part of me that thinks they use this to scare the crap out of everybody, and then they go behind closed doors to all the hundreds of millions of dollars that they're getting from these billionaires, and they say, listen, these idiots, these low and middle income families don't understand how taxes work. Trust me, Kamal, I don't even know how it works, but they definitely don't know how it works. But I can fool them and scare them that I'm going to come back for you. I'm not. But when I say that, please don't feel bad about it. Just know that I'm still with you, right? Because of course I love my billionaire friends, because I need your money. Without you, I'd never get elected. Fair? Cool. All these billionaires, terrible people that I have dinner with every night. Oh my God, it's so uncomfortable when they pay for my foie gras and my Kobe beef and my all this other stuff, right? These are bad people. In front of you, they're bad people. Behind closed doors, they're kissing their ass, because without them, they don't get reelected. You got to pay attention to this, because it's your money, your kids' money, your family's money if you don't pay attention to it.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.